Someone commented on my Instagram recently and said that she's in a situation and her husband has cheated on her for 20 years. Yeah? 20 years he's cheated on her and she has 2 kids with him. And she's waiting for a khula. Girl, to anyone out there who's going through that, don't wait. What are you waiting for when the man that you're with does not even respect Allah? The Prophet ﷺ said, when a man commits zina or when a woman commits zina, they are not believers at that time. So if a man has been cheating on you for the past 20 years, what makes you think that that man is a believer? What makes you think that that man believes in Allah? What makes you think that that man respects Allah? How can you be with someone who doesn't even care about the rights that Allah has over him? Forget your rights. But he is violating the laws of Allah. He is violating the rules that God has placed on this earth. And you're sitting there waiting for a khula and you're waiting there for a divorce. Where's your mind at? I'm saying this honestly to you because I've been in that situation. As soon as I found out that there was cheating going on, I packed my bags and I left. I didn't wait for a divorce. I didn't care. Because yes, I was being abused. And I should have left a long time ago. And this is why I talk about self-worth and self-love. Because when you don't love yourself, you stay in situations that are killing you. I've heard of so many women who've committed suicide because they were with abusive husbands. I've heard in the news so many times of women being killed by their ex-husbands. And you're waiting around because you don't want to be a single mother. That means you made your husband your God. You are afraid of the label single mother and you're afraid of being divorced. So that means you made your husband your God. You made this human being who has no respect for himself or for Allah, you have made him your God. It's true, because you are attributing your source of happiness, your source of peace, your source of security, financially, mentally, emotionally, and physically, you're attributing it to your husband, to the point that you don't want to leave him because A, you say that you're going to be financially not better off, B, because you're going to be called a single mother and the taboos of society, and your family are going to oust you, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. My mom, when she was with my father, she left him. She was disowned by her own mother and her father. She was disowned by her siblings. But you know what? She did it for us. She did not stay in a situation that was killing her. She made that choice that it's better if your own family can't help you and can't stick up for you and rather would see you get beaten down, rather see you with a black eye and help you cover that up, but not say to you, you're better than this and you deserve better than this. That's not family. I'm sorry, that isn't. That's not friends. You don't need to be around people like that who are actually encouraging you to stay stuck in pain. I'm only speaking from experiences. I've been in that situation and I've had friends around me who have helped me out, and they're still my friends to this day. I have friends around me who told me, you are worth more than this, Rosie. This is not Islam. This is not Islam to just please your husband, get beaten down, and then you have to please him and have sex with him. The Prophet ﷺ, check this out. The Prophet ﷺ said that the man who beats his wife and then goes to her at night is like a beast. And he also said, you are not from me. He went to the pulpit and he said, oh, you who beat, because when the ayah was revealed about, reprimanding your wife, there's a system that you have to follow, okay? And when he heard that the men had just forgotten all the system and just went home and beat their wives, the Prophet ﷺ went to the pulpit and started shouting, those who beat their wives are not from me. So you are with a man who beats you, and you stay with him because 1, you are afraid of what society will say. 2, you think it's from the religion. And 3, you keep saying to yourself, the angels are going to curse me. Do you not think that Allah is cursing this man? Do you not for a second think that Allah is cursing the man that's beating you up? Because the Prophet ﷺ never laid his hands on a woman. Never. He never punished a woman. He never hit a woman. So what lifestyle is your husband following? I'm being deadly serious here. You are afraid of leaving a situation where you are technically alone anyway. You are technically single. You're not getting no support. You get financial support, but you get abused. And it's not that much financial support anyway. It's whenever you do things right. So you're staying in that situation because you're afraid that if you leave, you're going to be left with nothing. Then you made your husband your God. You have told yourself that this man is providing for me. I want to talk about Asiya alayhi salam. When she denounced Fir'aun, and she said to Fir'aun, when she said to the Pharaoh, "You are not my God." Pharaoh was rich. She could have easily played it cool and said, "You know what? Let me just stay in this situation because this guy can, help me out. He can keep me clean. He can give me money, and I can still live like a queen and still worship Allah." No, she didn't do that. She decided to denounce Pharaoh, and she stuck with it. And she stayed firm on her faith. So many women that I know of, as soon as they get divorced, they take their hijabs off, take their niqab off, they go to the clubs, they go partying, and I understand why. I'm not judging you. I know why you're doing that, because you're crying out for help. You're looking for someone to validate you because you never got that validation from your father. The reason why you went into an abusive situation because you never got that validation from your father. Your father never told you he loved you. He never spent time with you. He didn't tell you that you were worth it. He did not vet the man that you're with. He just let you get married to anyone because he didn't care about you. Because if your father cared about you, you would not be in this situation. And even if your father did care about you and he knew that you're in this situation, he would have taken you out of it. That's what fathers do. Fathers help you. Fathers help you see your worth. Your father is the first man that you love. And if you never had that bond with your father, I promise you that you're looking for that love from your father from other men. That's the reason why you're taking your hijab off, because you're blaming Allah when it wasn't Allah who did that to you. You did that to yourself. Before you got married, you should have got some pre-marriage counseling. Before you got married, you should have healed those wounds within yourself. You should have dug deep within yourself. I wish I did that. I wish that I had looked into my trauma before I got married, because I was trauma bonding. I was married to an abusive, malignant narcissist because I was trauma bonding. I was trying to bond. I was trying to fix him. And subconsciously, I was trying to fix my father. And this is what I find that a lot of women do. A lot of women are trying to fix their fathers, or they're trying to fix their childhood. And once you get to the root cause of why you're like this, once you get to the root cause of why you're doing this, I promise you that you will not attract toxic people anymore, and you will get the strength to leave. When I did that, I got the strength to leave. When I dug deep into my childhood and I started confronting my fears, and I confronted the fear of being abandoned. I confronted the fear of abandonment because my father abandoned me. When I was a child, he didn't bother to look after me. He had many kids. I have 15 brothers. He had kids all over the place, and he abandoned me. I'm the only girl he had, and I felt so horrible about myself that I don't deserve love. And in turn, I went to modeling. I loved getting attention from guys because I felt that's validating me. That's my validation. And I know for a fact that you feel that you're going to go that way. Well, you need to work on yourself. You need to stand in front of the mirror and say to yourself every single day, I love you. And if it feels icky, you just thinking about it, you have some serious self-worth issues, and you need to go and heal them before you go into another relationship. You need to go and heal those issues that you have within yourself. And I'm not saying that trauma comes in many forms. It can be as small as the teacher shouting at you in school, to sexual abuse and physical abuse and all those horrific cases that you hear about. It doesn't always have to be major. Something inside of you fears abandonment. And that's why you latch onto people and you become codependent on other men. And this is the reason why you won't leave an abusive situation, because you have told yourself that this is better than being alone. It's better for me to be beaten up. It's better for him to cheat on me and make me feel so low about myself. It's better for him to ignore me and not communicate with me. It's better to have that because we're under the banner of marriage. We're under the certificate. We have a certificate. It says married. We were married Islamically. But there's nothing Islamic about the marriage. He's cheating on you. He's beating you. He's giving you HIV. He's giving you STDs. He's not even caring about your health. He's not caring about your children. Your children are seeing him beat you up. He doesn't give a crap about you. And you're sat in that situation saying to yourself, Well, I'd rather be in the situation because I'm married. People will know that I'm married. And you go out in society and put on a brave face, and you laugh, and you make it, yeah, my husband's so amazing. Who are you lying to? Because Allah sees every mask that you put on. There is a king who is aware of every mask that you put on. And Allah will even say to you, there's a hadith that says that if you can't practice your religion, then you go to a space where you can. Because Allah says that, wasn't my world big enough for you to practice? It's the same with relationships. Isn't Allah's world big enough for you to move on? Isn't there plenty more men for you to, plenty of men who are healed, who are not mentally unwell, who are not mentally unstable? There are plenty of men out there who are more loving, but because you're so afraid of this label that I don't want to be a single mom, I don't want to be divorced. Well, Khadija radiallahu anha was divorced. How about that? She was divorced, she had kids, and some say that she had kids from different fathers, I think. She was a businesswoman. She was successful. And you know what? She was well sought after. So many people used to ask for a hand in marriage. So many men used to ask for a hand in marriage. Her being divorced did not stop her from having a business and from getting married to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what's your excuse? It's because you made your husband your God. And as horrible as it sounds, and I may be coming across as very antagonistic and very unsympathetic, that's the whole point. My friend used to talk to me like this. My friend, she knows who she is, used to speak to me like this. She was like, Rosie, what is wrong with you? She used to break down my barriers, and I appreciate her so much because she's the one who helped me get out. She's the one who helped me get out of a situation and make me realize my worth. When you're around people who don't make you realize your worth, you need to let them go. And that includes your husband. And people will say that I'm advocating for divorce. Hell yes. Hell yes. I'm advocating for divorce. I'm advocating for women to get out of abusive, crappy situations for the sake of kids. You should be doing it for the sake of your children. You want to do something for the sake of your kids? Leave that relationship. Get out. Pack your things and go. Go to a refuge. There are places that you can go to. I went to a refuge. I packed my stuff when I went to a refuge. I didn't care. I didn't care what people said about me. I did not care because other people's opinions, I wasn't fazed by. And this is another thing. You've made other people's opinions your God. When really, all you should be doing is pleasing Allah. You should be worrying about the opinion that you have, that Allah has over you. When you actually think about it, when you're in an abusive relationship, how is your faith? How is your relationship with Allah? Are you happy? Do you feel happy turning to Allah? I know for a fact you don't. I know for a fact you feel suicidal and you feel depressed to the point that you can't even pray. So if your marriage is affecting even your prayers and is affecting the way that you speak to Allah, then why are you there? I always ask this question, why are you there? When you know he's cheating on you, when you know he's beating you, when your kids are seeing it and your kids are becoming violent, your kids are going to school and they're having issues at school, your kids have behavioral problems. What more evidence do you need to leave? What more do you want him to do you want him to try and kill you? Is that what you need for you to leave? Is that what you're waiting for? What are you waiting for? You're waiting for a sign from Allah? There's the signs. Allah is giving you the signs that this man is not for you. He's showing you that this man is not for you by the way he's treating you. He's treating you like Fir'aun. Look what Fir'aun did to Asiya. He hung her and dipped her in hot oil. This man is doing the exact same thing to you. Allah gives us stories in the Quran for us to look at it because history is repeating itself. So many women are living with Fir'aun. So many women have Fir'aun as husbands. This is the reason why we read the Quran. There's so many stories, so many metaphors in it for us to use our common sense and think, wow, this applies to my situation. It's time for you to leave, girl. And if you're feeling triggered by this video, I implore you to ask yourself, why? Why are you advocating for women to stay stuck in abusive, unhappy, and unhealthy situations when she can leave and she can thrive and get happy? I did. I was in an abusive situation. I left. And now I run a business. I earn 5 figures a month. I'm recognized as a transformational expert. I'm here helping women build their own businesses. I'm helping women heal from trauma. This all happened because I had full faith in Allah, that Allah is going to take me places that I've never been before, and I'm going to be okay. That's the trust that I had in Allah, and that's the trust that you need. So if you're feeling triggered by this and you're thinking I'm advocating for divorce, I'm advocating for divorce when there's abusive situations, when the situation is so bad that there is no mercy in the situation. I'm not talking about when you have little disagreements. I'm talking about when a man puts his hands on you. And when a man puts his hands on you once, he will do it again, and he will do it again, and he will do it again, and he won't stop. That's what happened to me. And I made excuses for him. I was like, oh, maybe he's going through something. It's my fault. And you know what's so funny? The people who advised me, can I just tell you what I was advised? When my ex-husband laid his hands on me, I was told, number one, are you giving him enough sex? As if I'm the reason why he is frustrated. As if I'm the reason why he's laying his hands on me, when I wasn't the reason why. And number two, I was told to be like Asiya to Firaun, as in the sense, let the man beat you, and if you die, you'll die a martyr. And this is the ideology so many women have, that if I die, I'm going to die a martyr. Where in the Quran does it say that? Where in the hadiths, in any hadith have you read, does it say that a woman will die a martyr if she gets killed by her husband? Where? Someone point that out to me. Because as far as I can see, the Quran shows so many places where the women were alone and they were thriving. That, like Maryam alayhi salam, Khadija radiallahu anha. There are so many women in the Quran, Asiya, when they left and they were thriving, they left with their deen intact. They left with their faith intact. Maryam alayhi salam was worried about the people or what they would say to her, but Allah comforted her and said, it's okay. You don't need to worry because your baby will speak. She had faith in Allah. But you're so worried about people's opinions and your culture. And, my culture says I have to stay. That's like the Hindu culture. You know, the Hindus, like the women, when their husbands die, the women throw themselves into the fire as well. They sacrifice themselves for their husband. Islam came to uplift you and to help you. But you're staying stuck by choice. You're choosing to be a victim. You're choosing to stay stuck in a situation that's not benefiting you or your kids. So if you're feeling triggered by this video, I implore you to ask yourself why you would want your sister, your own sister, to stay in a situation that's not helping her, that's not helping her get close to Allah, that's making her want to run away from Islam. Why would you want your sister to stay in that situation?